We record the class. Fourth, through material possessions. And fifth is we can create karma even with time. So today we're just going to focus how do I settle a karma, or how am I actually creating a karma through my thoughts. And so before I begin the session, I would like to start off with meditation so we all are in sync with today's class. So let us create that beautiful, peaceful atmosphere before we begin the session. So I'm going to mute all of you and we're going to go into the meditation. And I'm going to put the the light on the screen so there's something for you to focus. So let me sit back and bring my focus to the light in front of me. And let me just clear whatever thoughts I'm having right now, just for a moment, and become very present to myself. And as I do this, let me visualize in my mind that I'm standing in front of a mirror. I'm seeing my own self. And as I look at myself, I'm looking straight into my eyes. And let me ask myself, what is the most precious thing in my life? There could be many, but let me just name one. And now visualize that you are holding that precious thing on your right palm, on your hand. It could be a diamond, or your car key, or your house key, or your family, or it could be something very subtle, love or respect. So give an image for what you are holding. And how will you be holding it? Will you be holding it very tight? Or you'll be holding it very gently? And now visualize someone very close and important to you is standing in front of you. And you are giving them on their hand what you are holding right now. giving it to them. And how does that feel? When you are releasing, giving away what is very precious for you. Knowing that it is going to be taken care of very well, that it is very safe. Do you feel lighter? Do you feel free? And so today, I'm going to learn the art of letting go and the art to free myself. Whatever I'm holding within me, whatever that is giving me discomfort, today I'm going to learn how to set myself free. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
How do you feel?
Om Shanti.
Light,
Light,
relieved, peaceful.
peaceful. And we wish that we feel this all the time. We wish that even while interacting with people, doing our duties, pursuing our passions, we want to feel light. We don't want to compromise our emotions under any circumstances. But then I need to check what is changing my emotion, what is not allowing me to feel free, to feel light. There are many reasons maybe that we can give. We can give time as a reason. I don't have enough time throughout the day to do what I need to do. Or I have difficult people in my life that's very hard for me to get along with, who give me a lot of problems. Or maybe we can even be blaming ourselves. We feel incompetent or not enough, or comparing the self with others. So these are just many ways how we are not able to maintain our peace. And what could be even worse than this is that if I'm holding any trauma within me, if I'm holding someone else responsible for my misery, for the trauma that they have given me, whether they're, in a form of hatred, in a form of conflict, in a form of abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, just many reasons why we're not able to hold our peace. And so karma through thoughts. Karma, thoughts, I would say, let's redefine thoughts. It's very subtle, but it is also termed as the act of the mind. It's also a form of action. And we know that karma means action. Karma literally means action. And there are three kinds of karma: the negative karma, positive karma, neutral karma. When we do positive karma, we experience happiness for sure. And we want to be able to experience that happiness throughout the day. But sometimes it's compromised. And it's the negative karma that really takes a lot more toll in our life. And we want to see, how can I upgrade the quality of my life, the quality of my being, by using this karma philosophy. So is there anyone wanna ask anything before we start? Or anyone wants to share anything?
I never heard about neutral karma. Would you
Okay.
please elaborate?
Neutral karma is it's not negative, it's not positive, it's just necessary actions, like you eat, you sleep, you drink water. These are just neutral. It's a necessity that we're doing. So that is what neutral karma is. And we all have neutral karma. Neither positive, neither negative, it's just necessary. That's neutral. And so
neutral is like a yogi or any stance.
Okay. So basically, the more and more I become spiritually powerful. And when I say spiritually powerful, I'm saying that the soul becomes more and more powerful, internally very powerful, that the soul is able to be more consistent of having good wishes and having pure feelings through thoughts, through words, through actions. And nothing disturbs the soul, nothing affects the soul, but the soul is very consistent. It's not getting too excited, it's not getting too disappointed, but it's a very consistent state of feeling. And when I am in that consistent state of feeling, then the actions that means the soul is becoming purer and purer and purer. Right? We give the example of alloy. When the steel or when the gold, sorry, and the gold is mixed with alloy, the purity of the gold is compromised. And so when I am that pure gold, when I'm mixed with vices and weaknesses, my purity is compromised. And so the purer the soul becomes, more and more the soul will be performing positive actions naturally. And ultimately, what happens is there will come a point of time where the soul's actions will begin to become neutral, meaning the soul is not negatively influencing anyone, but also the soul has that sparkle of spirituality where whoever experiences that soul, they feel like their mind becomes very peace. But right now we are focusing on a positive karma. How can I create positive karma for me? Because it's like a deposit. It's like a deposit in the bank for the soul to reap it later. It's like an investment for me. And so how is it that I can create this beautiful investment for me through my thoughts?
Sister Vino,
Yes.
this is Mayuri. Sister Vino, I have a friend who is very well read And she was telling me, rather, she was not asking me, she was telling me, she said that we have karma and we come to this life. So we have to pay for whatever our karma is, the good karma or the bad karma. We have to go through that life. So how, whatever you're teaching us, how that can help us, or is it possible to erase those bad karma from your past life or this life? And so just want to elaborate on that. I don't know whether I'm asking the
Mhm.
question correctly or not, but she is one of the audience, and I'm
Okay.
sure she would.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So um, so two things that I would like to comment on what you I would like to share on what you have said. One is the word payment. It's a very, very big toll for us. It weighs us very deeply when we say payment, because a lot of times I don't even know what karmic account I've done. Could be a lot from the past. And if I feel I have to pay for it, it makes me feel as if I'm a victim. And so here we are trying to understand or perceive, how do I see karma? One is, if I see it is like a payment, then it feels like um, I don't have a choice, or it feels like there's nothing I can do about it. But if I feel it is a test, then I feel I have a choice of how I want to act now. So then it is, when I feel it is a test, okay, so I have a choice now. I am my master. I can decide what is best for me, and I will act based on that. If I say it as a payment, then I feel, oh, I don't know what I did, but I guess this is just fate. I'm meant to face it and I'm meant to settle it. But then I would probably be more on a victim mode. So from here on, I would like us, all of us, to see it as a test paper. Imagine you're in a school. Imagine you're sitting for the exam. Your score can be however it is going to be, but that is decided on how well you answer it. And so, how do I delete a karma? So, more than deleting, it is about settling it. It is about making my karma neutral. Meaning, when I say neutral, there is no more an exchange of energy happening between two souls. When we say positive karma, it means through my thoughts, words, or actions, I have given positive energy to the other soul, and that soul, as a result, have experienced happiness. Or negative karma, through my thoughts, words, and actions, I have given negative energy to that soul, and as a result, the soul experienced pain. And so it's all about now, whatever that has done before, I can't change it, but I have a choice. It is an exam in front of me, how well I'm going to answer it this time. If it was a negative karma, okay, then I would like to this time send them positive vibration so that this karmic account can become neutral. It's all about exchanging energy, and it's all about filling up the gap that was left out before. And so, seeing in that aspect, let me first touch base on some of the, let's say, sufferings or the traumas that we probably could be holding within us. When I say trauma, it's not something, so big. Yeah, there is those dramatic traumas very big in our life, feeling abandoned, feeling taken advantage of, feeling not being loved, and those feelings are there. But even as everyday life, we go through lives and we are dealing with people, there can be little conflicts that's happening throughout our everyday dealing with people. And so we could be holding those feelings in us, and we feel like, okay, let go, let's move on. And we feel that we've already, time has passed, things have cleared. We sometimes we leave it to time. We say time will heal us. What we don't realize is that the more and more we accumulate these feelings in us, these feelings are, yes, very subtle. It is happening within us. We may not have said anything about it, or did anything, acted out anything. We could be just thinking and feeling within us. But this accumulation will eventually be expressed in words. It will eventually come out in actions. Then I would definitely be creating a very ugly karma for me. But even just in thoughts, as I'm thinking about that soul, whoever is that soul, if I'm thinking about what they said and what they did, and what situation happened, and all of that, I keep revising that in my thoughts. What happened is, we can ask this question. Well, they have created so much pain in me, so don't they deserve my hatred? Right? We can ask that question, don't they deserve my hatred because they have created so much pain for me? What do you think?
Yes, that's true, Vinothini.
Yeah,
By doing that, you are making more karma.
Yes. No, they don't deserve our hatred.
they don't
They
deserve.
do not
I
deserve.
think we should send them positive vibrations.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Even though they are
sometimes,
negative, we want to send positive.
Because the
so
negative thoughts are in
ultimately,
our head, so it hurts us first. The negative thought is in our head, so first the pain is
yeah.
for us.
And
But
like,
when we send the positive vibrations, the first beneficiary will be us only.
Us also. Yeah.
that's
You know what? It's easier said though, because
preparing
you
and
have that
down.
deep feeling about somebody, a dislike for a person. And yeah, we can say that, oh, I need to send the positive vibrations. But you need to heal first before you can send the positive vibrations. What do you think, Vinoben?
I
I
was
think
just
so.
about to say that.
So I
that
was saying, Ben, that it is we are not superhuman beings where we can pardon people. Like, okay, he or she has done this harm to us, and we can just give away. We are not superhuman beings, and we do keep it in the heart, and we do feel bad about it. We may not express it, but unknowingly, knowingly, it does transit into the other person.
Mm.
Yeah, but the reminder is that we deserve peace. We deserve to be in a good place.
But I think
That's the
so.
reminder.
So it's good. All of you have shared.
I think by
I would.
forgiving the other person, actually we are selfish to forgive the other person for our peace.
Mm,
Right? Yeah, this is what I think.
Always think positive. You might
okay.
think I might have done something that thought that way and forgive. That's the only
Okay.
way to cure your karma. Because you can't change everybody you come across.
Can't change anyone.
But always smile and think positive about everybody. That might lead to the positive karma. Otherwise,
Okay. So I mean, all of you are definitely very experienced. All of us are definitely very experienced in this aspect of, experiencing pain and how to let go, especially when if the pain is quite deep. If it's a very surface, then we can just say, pardon and move on. But if the pain is quite deep, then
Yes.
we feel as if it will take time. But then in a way, if you feel as if that they deserve my hatred, if they deserve um, negative feelings from me, now let me ask myself this question. I can be far away from them right now, even physically also, or maybe that soul could have even left this body, moved on to another birth. But then, do I want to be bound to that soul? If it is someone that I'm uncomfortable with, then do I want to be karmically connected to the soul for the rest of my life? Right? And usually we don't want to. We don't want to be bound to any soul, and more so if if that soul has given me pain. And what happens is, whatever that the soul has done, the soul is definitely, created an account for itself. All of us are accountable for our personal choice of actions, whether thoughts, words, or actions. It's a personal choice that we made. We are accountable for it. They are also accountable for their choice of responses. And the more I think about it, you'll be very surprised. I'm actually suffering for their karma. I'm participating in their karma. And so I'm binding myself to them for a very long time. And then I'm asking myself, how can I free myself? But I've already bounded myself. The more and more I think about it, about them, the deeper and deeper I'm binding myself to that soul. Subtly also, even if the soul is not physically present in my life. And so, how can I free myself from that soul? And how can I free myself from not suffering for someone else's karma? And this is where God comes in. Because when we are very attached to a soul, attached to, sometimes negative is also an attachment. Like I said, thinking negative about the soul is also being attached to that soul. Then it is not easy to take my mind off from them and to connect with God. Because I could be chanting mantras, I could be telling prayers, I could be listening to bhajans, or I could be meditating, but my mind is still revolving around that soul. I'm not able to connect, take it away and connect with God. And so that is the time I tell myself, I do not want to be bound to this soul. I want to free myself from this soul, and I want to connect with God. Because if you see, it is the mind that experiences, but the mind cannot decide. The mind cannot judge, but it is the mind that experiences. But the mind is very dependent on the intellect, buddhi. Whatever answers, decisions, analysis that the buddhi gives, accordingly the mind feels. And so in the past, my buddhi has told me this is right, this is wrong, this is bad, this is correct. And so my mind accordingly has been feeling that way. And now if I want to change my perspective of this idea of right and wrong, I have to give the right knowledge to my buddhi. So that accordingly now my buddhi will start functioning and making decisions. And so again, it is not my mind that is at fault, but it is my understanding. Somewhere I've lacked that understanding in the buddhi, understanding gyan. And if you see in any form of yoga or in any form of meditation, is all about study. Like Jayashri Ben has been teaching this yoga, and she had to study herself. And then she has to study and practice, and then she's demonstrating. And then we are studying from her, and we are practicing, and then we demonstrate to someone else. So in that same sense, Raj Yoga is also a form of study. It's deep study. Study, and learn to perceive. Learn to understand, learn to make the right decisions. And then my mind, in the beginning, it's going to be mischievous because it has been that for quite a very long time. And then eventually my mind has to accept what my intellect is telling. But that is an everyday, every moment effort. This is where we are saying about learning to rethink and to refeel, going back into my understanding of everything. And so it's a personal choice for us what kind of destiny I want to create for me. I definitely can create a destiny through my thoughts. It can be a destiny of pain, or it can be a destiny of happiness. This is your choice, how you wish to see. You may feel it's very hard to forgive, but we are not even saying about forgiveness yet. That's going to be an ultimate step. That's going to be ultimate. But we are saying, do I want to prolong thinking? When the thought comes in my mind, at that time, do I wish to go deeper into that thought, into that thing? Or can I tell myself repeatedly, this has to be a repetitive step every time when the thought comes, I free myself from this soul, I'm connecting with God. I free myself from this soul, I'm connecting with God. And if it is something that I've done from my end, if it is a mistake from my end, then each time when the mistake comes in my mind, each time when the soul comes in my mind, I'm telling them, please forgive me for what I've done. I have learned now, and thank you for teaching me this lesson. So really, when I said about seeing karma as a test paper rather than seeing it as a payment, it means for me to step back and to see what is it that I need to learn, basically. It could be however bitter, negative a situation is, there's something it is trying to tell me. It's trying to teach me something. That is why I say see it as a test paper and see what is it that I need to learn. Anyone has any questions? Acha, what is the meaning of soul? Very good question. What is a soul? Anyone would like to answer? Somebody asked this question.
Something which never dies. I mean, I'm a soul, but I have a body, and my soul is immortal.
I think soul is one of the eternal elements of universe.
Yes. And
it has a description, right? It cannot be destroyed, or it takes a birth in another body, and it has a lot of powers. And
so soul is immortal, soul cannot be destroyed. Easily you can apply physics law. Being a scientist, I like to always input scientific law in this understanding. Physics law, thermodynamics says that energy cannot be destroyed. Energy can be transferred from one form to another form, and energy flows from a higher point to a lower point. And so how does that apply to us? A soul is an energy also. A soul is light, a soul is an energy, it's a matter. And transforming from one form to another form means I take many lives, meaning bodies. I don't die, my memories don't die, the body dies. And so the soul moves on to a next life, into a next life, to a new family, to a new culture. And so each time when I'm taking birth into a new family culture, I'm adapting to a new information. It's like, you're adding information to within us, within sanskaras, we say sanskaras. Memories are within the soul. It's not really in the brain, because when the soul leaves the body, brain dies. But then the next time when we go into another body, we have deja vus, we have phobias, because all these memories, recordings are in the soul, and the soul expresses it through the brain and body. And a second aspect about energy flows from a higher to a lower point means that always positive thoughts have a very high frequency and negative thoughts have a lower frequency. If I want to protect myself from any negativity around me, which is already vibrating at a lower frequency, but when a lot of souls start being very negative, I feel as if like overwhelmed by the atmosphere. It's just too much, we say too much negativity. But if I don't want to be influenced by those negativity, then I have to be higher. My state, my frequency has to be higher. And when my frequency is higher, two things happens. Lower energy don't affect me, and in return, higher energy affects the lower energy. So this is what I mean. Energy flows from a higher point to a lower point, but never from a lower to a higher point. So the more and more positive my thoughts are, the more and more possibility happens where I become the influencer for people and for atmosphere. But if I'm already also vibrating on a low frequency, then people's energy sort of, becomes a layer on me. So this is really the idea of the soul. As a soul, I have a mind. Mind is not a physical organ. It is a subtle. Um, I would say functionality that's within the soul is to create thoughts, to feel. Mind feels, intellect doesn't feel. And then there's the buddhi, which is it stores information, it takes decisions, analytical, right and wrong, knowledge. And then there is sanskaras, which is the personality or the characteristic or the recordings, that whatever the soul has done and whatever the soul has experienced, there's a recording within me. So this is me. I am made of this, the soul. And then there is the body. So and now I am, that is why in Raj Yoga meditation, the first lesson, it's a total of 8 lessons, but the first lesson we emphasize on who I am, because it is very important first to bring the understanding of the difference between the role that I play and the soul. The role is I can be a mother, daughter, wife, husband, many roles I play in my lifetime, but the soul is only one. I am playing these roles. And so separating this identity is the first foremost step that we do. And karma also definitely is created when there is a lot of attachment. Attachment means I am clinging to a certain identity in my life. Identity could be in a form of person. This is my husband, this is my wife, this is my children, my grandchildren, this is my job. So when I cling on to these identities, then what happens is there can be possessiveness, subtle possessiveness, there can be disappointments, because I will tend to put ownership, taking rights on them. And when I start putting ownership or start taking rights on that soul, either they may fulfill my desire or they don't, because they have their own mind and they have their own ideas. And when that doesn't happen, clashes happen, then I go into a state of disturbance in my mind. Why? Because of this identity crisis, actually. Identity crisis means I am this and I have all this. And if I do not identify myself as a mother or a wife or a daughter, then I feel as if, what is my value then? Who am I? Who am I here? So when this is where identity crisis then happens. But actually, yes, I am playing the role of a mother. I am playing the role of a father. But while playing this role, I want to maintain my freedom, my internal freedom. And I also would want to maintain the freedom of the other soul that I'm playing along with, playing my life with. And how I can do that is taking off that brand, that label that they are mine. They are all gods, meaning they are, here we use for God, we use the word Baba. It's not any human soul we are referring to the Supreme Soul. So when I say Baba in the future, because this word is just ingrained in my blood, so sometimes I have to consciously remember and say God. But when I say Baba, I'm referring to the Paramatma. So in the future, if you hear me using the word Baba, I'm actually referring to the Supreme Soul, to God. So we are all Babas. We are all Baba's children. And people who are in your life are also Baba's children. And because we belong to Baba, Baba has a right on us. But we don't have right on each other. We can be a guide for each other. We can even be a support system for each other, but we cannot dictate on each other. Because that is where karmic account is created, when we start dictating. Even for your own, oftentimes with parents or the children, they play a very, very close relationship in their family, children and grandchildren. And so, because we feel, oh, I love them so much, I want to give the best for them, and I want to make sure that they don't go through what I've gone through. But let me ask you all this question. Looking back what you have gone through in your life and who you are right now, your current personality, do you regret being who you are right now? Whatever choices you have made in your life, whatever decisions you have made, whatever you have faced in your lifetime, now looking back, do you regret being who you are right now?
No.
Yeah, the thing is that most of us were at a life stage, even if we had a regret, we've moved on from all of those things. And we're at a place where we understand this is what happened and we accept what happened. And yes, as somebody said, there are deep hurts, there are those things deep inside of us. And they do come out when we least expect it. And that it makes us flare up and react. That does happen. But we're all at a place where, yes, there are many points, there are regrets. Yes, I have had, and I probably still have deep inside. But the thing is, I'm also at the place where I am where I am, and I understood a lot of things and accepted them. So my only hope is going forward, I do better with my choices and how I see and perceive things. That's why I'm here as part of BK for many years, as you know, Vinothini.
That regret I have is I prayed God so much before my marriage. I got married at 21, but leaving India, Bombay, coming to America, one thing I achieved is what I can do. Not that I wouldn't have done in India, but here I finished my PhD in organic or raised 3 kids to become a doctor with unlimited drive to temple to learn the Chinmayan mission and everything. I don't know, I would have done that in Bombay. But yes, I do miss my past life. I enjoyed even when rain comes in Bombay and listening that music. Here now feels like you have too much. So sometimes you feel like you need to put yourself in a test mode and do just good karma. You tell your mind every minute, you do now a good karma, be in a test and improve your soul. And I think so best book I enjoyed about that was the Vinoba Bhave, because I used to go and help in his Sibir. So good doings helps too with the good karma or thoughts.
Yes. I think somebody raised their hand. I'm not sure who did.
Me.
Yeah, Hiraben, yes.
Yeah. I feel like some choices we made were not correct. Looking back, at that time it must have felt right. But now, since we are being more aware, we are trying to change the things and not regretting it anymore.
Yeah. So basically, there could be little things we wish we could change it, but as an overall picture of my life, if I see, I don't think many of us regret our existence. I think I would definitely, for sure, 100%, I would be able to say I don't think we regret our existence, because if we regret our existence, then I don't think we'll be in this group right now, because this group is all about just transformation. And so there's little aspects in our life that oftentimes it surfaces, it comes up, and then we go into some flashbacks or some thinking, and some feelings come up, and either it could be a feeling of um, euphoria, feeling of joy, or could be a feeling of regrets. It could be a feeling of disappointments. But all of these little things are there. But overall, I feel we are quite pleased with our life. We are pleased with our life. And so now we are checking ourselves that if whatever I have gone through in my lifetime, and whatever lessons that I learned in my lifetime and made me who I am here right now, then I feel that my children or my grandchildren or my spouse or my siblings also are entitled to learn from their journey. They also should be given the freedom to, we say organic learning. You know what's an organic learning? It means let them learn from their journey on their own, and let me not interfere in their karma. Let me not interfere in their life. And when I say not interfere, I'm not saying just don't care, but I'm saying is I don't mind. It's very easy for us to use the word when we are hurt. We use, oh, I don't care. I don't care. But then there is hurt. There is that sulking mode. That's why I say I don't care, but I'm actually still thinking. But let me substitute now the word I don't care into I don't mind. That means I let whatever that I have experienced, I can share with them as a guide, as a support, as a friend. I can share, I can lay down what is it. But then let me give them that choice. Okay, you choose what you feel is best for you. What is it that you want to do? And let me give them that understanding. Whatever choice you make, if at all you need me, I'm here. So when I give them that assurance that I'm still here for them, doesn't matter what choices they make, what happen is they will not crush down. You know what that feeling? The feeling of loneliness when you feel that you've gone against someone, and then you feel if you make a mistake, you're not able to come back to that person because that person is going to backfire on you. I told you so. You didn't listen. And they're going to keep reminding me I made that choice, and that is why I'm suffering. They keep reminding me. And I don't want to get that reminder every time. So I might as well don't even go back to them. So, again, it is my own pain that is causing the other soul to move away from me, actually. When I say when somebody is in their very deep down phase of life, when somebody makes a mistake and then they come up to me, that is not the time I say I told you so. Never. That breaks the soul. That is the time to embrace the soul and say it's okay. It's okay. I'm here. It's okay. And then after that, first give comfort to that soul, first give love to that soul. And then when the soul is ready to listen or to understand, then you can ask that soul, okay, what happened? Why do you feel this way? And you are, and allow that soul to come to the answer. It's not about them following or understanding what you said is right. No, you ask them question and allow them to arrive to a conclusion, because then they will become responsible for the conclusion that they make. You see what I mean? Not to participate in somebody's karma, not to interfere in somebody's life, in their what journey of life, what life is going to teach for them, but just be available when they need you. Just be present when they need you. But for that, imagine how much I have to keep my mind stable. so that when I see them going through something, I don't suffer along with them. But I need to be the strongest one to hold them up when they need me. I think we're about time. Is there anything anyone would like to ask before we go into the meditation and ending the session?
Vinoben, just 1 minute. So what we are taught, like when we were small, my parents would say that with experience, experience is a very big thing. And if you share your experiences with your kids, maybe they don't take 100%, but at least you should share your experiences so that they become wiser and they try to, understand, oh, my parent went through this and probably, that was a wrong decision. But I would like to say is like I would like to share my experiences, but as you said, don't intrude into their life, but just definitely be by their side. But definitely, whether they like it or not like it, you share your experiences. This is what I would feel.
Yeah. It's but having the right time to share. Because
And
if I
then,
keep
yeah,
talking, then I could be talking to a blank wall,
Yes.
Inside feel Om Shanti, the other year.
or
probably,
knowing when it is time to not share,
Yeah.
knowing where the line is. I think that's where
Yeah.
we trip up on. We
Yeah.
think it is our responsibility, our conscience, everything as mothers, as responsible people. We think we must share, and there comes a point when that is not needed, wanted, or solicited. And understanding that, I think
Yeah.
it causes us the pain. Or maybe we do understand. We're wise souls. I believe we're all wise souls. We do understand and feel the pain that we must not do it anymore.
I have one.
It's like you could be sharing something something appropriate, you could be sharing something beautiful, but then when the other soul is not listening, it's not that what I said is wrong, but maybe that soul is not ready at that time for this conversation. So some other time you can do that sharing. Maybe that soul is not ready yet at that time for this topic, right? So we'll just need to know when to share and how to share. Yeah.
I have one question about the soul. You said that our soul carries all the memories. So, what happens when people have Alzheimer's and they lose their memories? So, the body has lost the memory. What about the soul? Soul still has the memory?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So when we say Alzheimer, the soul doesn't have the Alzheimer, it's the body.
Body,
Okay.
right?
It's the connection, it's the neuronal connection in the brain that is disconnected. And so the information from the soul is not being passed on to the brain. See, the brain and the soul is a matter, brain is physical. How does the soul and the brain communicate? It is through electromagnetic field of energy. And so the soul is very dependent on the electrical circuits, on the neuronal circuits in the brain to pass the information. And then we have the motor system, motor neurons that's working, brings the hormones, impulses, and then we act. I mean, this body act. But then if the brain somewhere in the circuit is damaged, then the soul has all the information, but the passover is not happening. You see.
Thank you.
So when the pass down is not happening, then it feels like the brain is numb, and face expression is numb, or forgetfulness, right?
Right.
So sometimes they remember, sometimes they don't remember. It's the same as somebody who's like in a coma, right? The body is in coma, but not the soul. The soul is absolutely aware and conscious, and the soul feels, but the soul is not able to express because of certain damage in the brain.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
A quick question.
Yes.
Is it possible that the soul and the brain can keep fighting? Like maybe the soul wants one thing and the brain says it's not the right thing to do?
Okay. So brain never fights. Brain is just an organ, and the soul is implicating everything to the brain. But the real tug of war that's happening is between the mind and the intellect that's within the soul. So, when we say, example, conscience, right? When we do something against our conscience, we are having this battle. Don't do it, and no, I have to do it. So the brain is being tempted. The mind is having this temptation. No, I have to do it. But then my intellect, my buddhi is telling, no, but you shouldn't do it, because if you do, X, Y, Z happens. And so this whole battle is happening within the soul. And whatever is the final decision that's been taken, that's what the brain receives, the information, and then we act. So that is why it's all this information we are feeding is to us, to the intellect, to the soul. And then the soul is going to take the right choices and act using the brain.
So the tug of war is not between those two. It's
Definitely
inside the brain.
No, we think everything is happening in the brain, but do you know where the soul is seated? Scientifically, if you go right here in the middle, and if you slice your brain in half, and if you see under microscope, one half of the brain, and what you would see that in our brain, we have 4 main glands. And to simplify what a gland means, 4 main network that takes care of the whole body. That's your pituitary, pineal, hypothalamus, thalamus gland. It controls the entire body. And these 4 glands, they meet at an intersection. It has their own neurotransmitters, neurons and cells, but they meet at an intersection. And that intersection under microscope, if you see, it's a very, very tiny hole. It's a hollow space, because that's exactly where I sit, where the soul sits. And soul, you can't see in microscope, it's just energy. But that's exactly where the soul sits, right here in the middle. And then the soul is then sending information and to these glands, and then accordingly things are happening in this body. So you feel as if it's all happening in the brain, but actually it's happening in the soul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So we can go into meditation now. Yes. Okay. If so this class is, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to mute all of you, and then we can do the meditation now. So let me sit back. And from what I learned today, let me check. What is it that I have understood? And what is it that I would like to remind myself from today onwards? Did I learn today that I actually do have a lot of power to determine how I want to feel? Do I have that power to protect myself from anyone else's karma? Do I have the ability to save myself from anyone else's negative energy? And what is it that I can do for myself so that I can constantly create beautiful karma for me. From today onwards, throughout the day, I am taking this determined thought to bless myself and to bless other souls. And to do this, let me create a very strong bond with God every day so I can draw power from Him and become very powerful. I will write my own destiny, and I will definitely create a beautiful destiny for me because I love myself. Om Shanti.